All right, we be live. Hi everyone. Let me check how my audio is. It's perfect. Thank you so much, Alfred. Let me make sure that everything is good. Guys, make sure that you like the stream right now. Let me know, also confirm that my audio is good because we have a lot of videos to show you and I want to make sure that I get started right away. I think I have everything ready. Fantastic. Okay. Guys, make sure in the live chat that you mentioned that you have liked the video so other people see that you have liked so that they get encouraged to like as well. And Alfred is here highlighting your comments so that you could be part of the show as well. Thank you so much, Alfred, for highlighting people's comments. And also highlight their comment if they say that they have liked the stream so other people will end up liking as well. Dee is here. Dolly is here. Oh, fantastic. Great. Amazing. David is here. Everyone else. Fantastic. Okay. So let's just jump in because I know I have so much. And also thank you, Dolly, for doing all the research and all the work for this stream. Thank you so much for these videos. Let me see the context of this first video. So this is a woman claiming Islam. So these are people from the UK. These are mostly reverts. For people who are new here, reverts are people who Muslims call them reverts because they don't call them converts to Islam. They call them reverts to Islam because they believe that everybody is born a Muslim and whoever becomes a Muslim is going back to Islam. So these are mostly people either in the UK, mostly white people in the UK who are either have converted to Islam or finding Islam very interesting and are considering becoming Muslim. So let's see what this first one has to say. The context for this first one is a woman claiming Islam does not force people to convert. Well, that's an easy one to debunk. Let's see what she has to say. So I'm not gonna let's see. This is 2-minute video, so I'm not gonna pause in the middle, so we get the full picture of what she's saying. And then once we completely watch the video, then I will go back and respond to what she has to say line by line. So let's see.
Two things I did not know about Islam. One, that it's considered a sin to try and force your religion upon others. I love that. I always kind of wondered why there were no Muslim missionaries in terms of door knocking, Obviously in the United States that would not have been safe. Regardless, I still kind of wondered why there was no distinct outreach for Islam. And now I know. So instead of the make disciples of all nations, or go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Holy Spirit, which is kind of an action item to go convert everybody. In Islam, that's a sin. So I love that, actually. They very much so make it a point to say, if you cannot figure that, if this does not sound like sound logic and reason to you, then don't follow it. Another thing I did not know was the permission of war to defend your own life or to defend land against incursions by others and to avoid persecution and lawlessness. Killing is bad, but lawlessness is even worse than carnage, is an interesting quote. And then permission to fight in self-defense is now given to those Muslims against whom war is waged for no reason, because they have been done injustice to, and Allah has indeed might and power to help them, those who have been driven out of their homes without any just cause. Their only fault was that they said, "Our Lord is Allah." And if Allah had not repelled some people by means of others, cloisters and churches and synagogues and mosques, wherein the name of Allah is mentioned very frequently, would have been razed to ground in large numbers. I think it's especially with everything going on in Gaza, you hear constantly the notion that Israel's allowed to defend itself, but God forbid Palestinians were allowed to defend themselves. Anyway, I feel like the more that I read, the more that I learn, as one does when they read things. But if you have any additional resources you think that would be helpful in my learning journey, please let me know.
Wait, what is she reading? Because I don't remember a Quranic verse being written like that. Is she reading a Quran? It says the Holy Quran on the book, but what she's reading doesn't sound like the Quran. This is probably one of those books that has a commentary next to verses in English, and she's not actually reading the verse. She's reading the commentary. I have a book like that. Hold on. Yeah. So she's probably reading something like this, right? So it says the Quran, but it's obviously so much bigger than the Quran because it's like, look at this tiny little piece right here. That's the Quranic part. And this whole mumbo jumbo right next to it, it's all the whitewashing, all the excuses, and trying to make sense of all this little part. So this is why this book is so big, right? So she's probably reading all this commentary. I wouldn't even call it tafsir, because these English commentary is not usually the actual tafsir that Muslims recognize as, uh, credible. This is like, so a lot of this English commentary is just like trying to make the Quran seem nicer than it is. But she's probably reading something in this part, not the actual not the actual Quranic verse, right? I'm not sure. Well, let's see. Let's see what she has. Let's see what she has to say, and respond to it. Okay, line by line.
Two things I did not know about Islam. One, that it's considered a sin to try and force your religion upon others.
Okay, so let's be fair. What do you? I'm not going to be one of those people who try to, so she's whitewashing Islam. I'm not going to try to. I'm going to give you the context, and I'm also going to, I'm not good, because Islam has certain limitations. So again, remember, a lot of people think Islam is chaotic order, a chaotic evil. It's not chaotic evil. It's organized, orderly evil, right? So there are limitations to Islam and how it can be spread, which makes it more evil. Chaotic evil is easier to destroy than organized, orderly evil, right? So when you say, the examples she give shows that she doesn't understand what is it that cannot be forced. So you can force Islam on people if by forcing Islam upon people you mean Islamic law. You cannot force Islam on people if by forcing you mean forcing them to convert everybody, right? Forcing to convert everybody, because some people technically are forcing them. If by not forcing you mean that nothing will happen to them if they don't not convert. So for example, technically, if you're a Christian and Jew, if Islam takes over your land, you are free in quotation, kind of free not to convert to Islam. However, there's a cost associated with not converting to Islam, but you can still stay a Jew or a Christian. However, Islam is still forced upon you because you have to follow the Islamic laws of the land. Okay, so that's. But if you are an atheist or a Hindu or a Buddhist, then you're screwed. Then you are forced Islam. Then basically you could choose not to be a Muslim, but you either have to leave this land or die, right? So it's interesting how you say it's not forced upon people, because it's kind of like somebody coming out and putting a gun on your head and say, give me your wallet. I'm like, well, he's not forcing me to give him my wallet, because I could choose to die, right? I have the option to not give him my wallet and die. So I have options here. Given that I have options here, then is it so in that sense it's not forcing. Like, yeah, I don't have to give him my wallet. I could just take the bullet, I guess. I will choose the bullet. So in that sense, yes, you have a choice, right? But another situation where you could say that Islam is not forced upon people is when you don't have the power to force Islam on people, like when you're the minority. So yes, also in those situations, you're not supposed to force people to convert to Islam, or even to force them to follow Islamic law. True, that's also correct, right? So there's different contexts, right? So if you're the minority, you cannot force people to follow, either convert to Islam or force people to follow Islamic law. You cannot do that. If you have the upper hand, if you do have the force, then it's your duty to force Islam upon people. And by forcing Islam on people, it depends on whether you're people of the book, means Christians or Jew, or you're not. If you're not people of the book, then yes, you will be eliminated one way or another unless you convert to Islam. If you're Christian or Jew, means Ahlul Kitab, people of the book, then you will not be forced to convert to Islam. However, you will be forced to follow Sharia law for Christians and Jews. So that's the full picture. I'm giving you the full picture, right? And what she says actually after contradicts what, so let's listen to her after. Do you guys agree with what I'm saying? Do you guys understand? I put it into, has anybody put this into categories like this that I have right for you? I put it in different categories, and I'm also telling you what can you force and what you cannot force, right? So let's listen to the rest of it.
I love that. I always.
Oh yeah, so somebody saying there's no compulsion in religion. Yes, in Islam, la ikraha fi din, right? Again, remember, if you read the full context of that verse, that means that you cannot force people to convert to Islam, right? But you are allowed to force Islamic law upon people. You are supposed to fight until the whole world lives under the rule of Islam, even if some people remain Christians and Jews. Again, and that's the only options that they can remain. They cannot remain Hindus or, I don't know, idol worshippers or something, or atheists. They can only, so that's what they mean by no compulsion to religion. No compulsion in converting, but there is compulsion in following Sharia law. So let's listen to the rest of her.
I love that. I always kind of wondered why there were no like Muslim missionaries in terms of like door knocking, Obviously, in the United States, that would not have been safe. Regardless, I still kind of.
So what is she talking about? This, like, have you been living under a rock? This is the part that is the most shocking to me. Like, listen to this, because even if you accept that Islam, even if you think like there is no compulsion in religion, even if you think Islam is not forcing it up. Let's say, for example, in UK, where Muslims are the minority, they're not supposed to force people to convert to Islam when they're the minority, when they don't have the upper hand, but they don't have the force. But they are supposed to invite people to Islam. That is not. So how is she the invitation of people spreading Islam and advertising for Islam? That is not seen as forcing people to Islam. How are you mixing these two? And they're everywhere. People are advertising Islam, and I mean, there's a whole industry of that. It's called Dawa. It's called, look up Dawa, lady. What are you talking about? Hold on. Listen to this.
I love that. I always kind of wondered why there were no like Muslim missionaries in terms of like.
There's no Muslim missionaries. Like, where is she living? How is she? Guys, am I missing something here? It has its own. It's an entire industry. It's everywhere in the UK. Have you stepped outside of your house? What? I mean, I traveled to the UK. I've been to London a couple of times. I couldn't. Even when I'm not looking for it, I'm seeing people trying to advertise Islam. The biggest Islamic Dawa channels come from the UK. I mean, look at Muhammad Hijab, Ali Dawa, Smile to Jannah, 5 Pillars. All of these are coming from the UK. Is Dawa center of the world right now. What are you talking about? I don't understand what she's even saying. I wonder why there is no Muslim missionaries. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, somebody's saying there's Dawa centers everywhere. It's probably where she got her stupid book. Maybe she. No, I mean, I think. No. That okay. So when they give you books, they give you free books. They're cheaper. Like the book that she has, she probably bought it on Amazon or something, because the books that they give us for free, they're like kind of cheap, like this one. This book is the book that she's reading is probably too expensive to just hand out for free in Dawa centers. Usually when they give you free books to take home, it's like something paper, like that looks like, yeah, that looks nice. Too nice to be handed out for free.
Door knocking,
You can tell that I have visited my fair share of mosques.
In terms of like door knocking, Obviously, in the United States, that would not have been safe. Regardless, I still kind of.
Obviously in the United States that's not, that would not, like, you think that Muslims would be shot if they were knocking doors to convert people to Islam? Here's the thing. I think Muslims are, the reason why might be you're not seeing door knocking is not that because they don't have missionary work. They have it. They call it Dawa, and it's everywhere, everywhere. They have it. The door knocking just doesn't work. They are just smarter, I guess, than Jehovah's Witnesses. They just know that that's the best way to get people and not annoyed and not interested in Islam. They are spread, like, because Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't actually care about the results. They just care about the fact that they're doing what they're doing. So they don't care about whether you convert or not, I guess. Like, they're just supposed to just do the work. But Muslims do care about the result. They want you to convert. That's why they're not doing door knocking. That's why they're doing ways that actually does convince people to convert to Islam. Let's continue.
Wondered why there was no distinct outreach for Islam.
There's no outreach for Islam. How could you be like, nobody agrees with this? Like, lady, I mean, this is something that I think me and Muslims who are, hey, dear Muslims who are watching this, you agree with me on this. She's completely clueless. Like, there's no outreach. It's one of your most sacred duties as a Muslim to do outreach and try to convince people to convert to Islam. I mean, let me actually defend Muslims. How is that even? I'm going to do something new. I'm going to defend Muslims. She's saying like, oh, I'm reading here that you're not supposed to force people to Islam. That's why there's no outreach. How is outreach forcing people to Islam? I mean, I would let Muslims do outreach, because that would make it that would make it a fair battle of ideas. The problem with Islam is that it forces itself upon people. But if we had it only advertising itself, and we were free, and we had our hands completely open to advertise against it as much as we wanted to, then we would win, because their Islamic ideas are just horrific and horrible. Like, we just had to point them out. I would be defending Muslims' right to advertise Islam, as long as we have the equal opportunity to point out how barbaric and insane and inhuman it is, right? So I would be defending Muslims here against what she's saying, because she thinks missionary and da'wah is forcing people to convert to Islam. It's just like inviting people to become a Muslim. How is that even the same thing?
And now I know. So instead of the make disciples of all nations, or go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Holy Spirit, like, which is kind of like an action item to go convert everybody.
Yeah, I will show you an action item soon. By the way, let me see this video. How many video? Wow, this video got 50,000 likes. And I forgot to give credit to the TikToker who made this. This TikTok channel is called Amber Levels Up, with, of course, watermelons on her account. Of course. Watermelons, for people who don't know, is defending Palestine. How many views did this get? I don't know where this is. Why doesn't TikTok show me the number? Oh, here, fine. I have to go. So this got 350,000 views. Okay.
In Islam, yeah, that's a sin. So I love that, actually. They very much so make it a point to say, if you cannot figure that, if this does not sound like sound logic and reason to you, then don't follow it. Another thing.
So wait, what did she say in Christianity? She's like bashing Christianity. Let me find something equivalent to what she's saying in Christianity for
in Islam, yeah, that's a sin. So
no, go back. Let me see the Christian, what she mentions about Christianity.
For Islam. And now I know. So instead of the make disciples of all nations, or go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Holy Spirit, like, which is kind of like an action.
Oh, make disciples of in all nations. Okay, lady. I got you. 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 I will show you 2 verses from the Quran. Okay, how about that? Is that good, guys? Should I show 2 verses from the Quran? Okay, here. Let's go to this one. So I will show you 2 verses. And guys, if you think I'm taking these verses out of context, there's tafsir for it as well. Maybe I will show you a bit of the tafsir. Tafsir means the commentaries by Islamic scholars. So yeah, let's look at this. This is Quran chapter 9, verse 5. It says, and when the inviolable months have passed, then kill the polytheists wherever you find them, and capture them and besiege them, and sit in wait for them at every place of ambush. But if they should repent, establish prayer, and give zakah, let them go on their way. Indeed, Allah is forgiving and merciful. So a lot of Muslims try to come up with excuses to say that this is for a specific battle at a specific time, right? And it doesn't apply to all places. It doesn't apply to all now. And you have to go read the context. But the problem with that argument is that this verse makes it clear that what makes the way for you to end the battle, the fighting stops when they establish prayer and give zakah, means when they follow Islamic laws. So again, remember, every verse in the Quran is supposed to be a guidance for all men at all times. And this Quranic verse is specifying that it's not them, agreeing, these specific people, first of all, is referring to them as the polytheists. So as a role model is talking to you, is the category, it's not saying the specific people that did this thing wrong, right? It's using the category for you to know that there's something wrong with the category. And it also tells you that the reason why you have ended the war is because they are following Islamic law, not because they betrayed you there and they will do something that undoes the betrayal there, or because they stole this from you and they now need to give you back. If they give it back, they could stop the war. No, if they follow Islamic law, they establish prayer and give zakah, right? So, and also, let me see if this is the tafsir. Yeah, so if you look at the tafsir, the commentary. Yeah, so if you look at this is the commentary on the same verse, right? It says to fight the mushrikeen, that means the idolaters, wherever you find them. Okay, wherever you find them, even the scholars, the Islamic scholar that the native language is Arabic, that they are, people say like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Go read the scholars. Well, the scholars say this means on the earth in general. When it says wherever you find them, the scholars agree with me that this is a general call to fight until people who are not Muslim are following Islamic law, and wherever you find them means on the whole earth in general. Right? So, and then, guys, every time you want to make sure that you're not taking something out of context, the tafsir commentary of all these verses exists, and you could easily find them. And then let's go to this one. Here's another verse, Quran chapter 2, verse 193. It's saying, fight them until there is no... Here, let me actually make sure the screen is right. Yeah, fight them until there is no more fitna. Fitna means division. And until religion is acknowledged to be for Allah. That means fight them until all religion is Islam. That's what it means. But if they cease, there is to be no aggression except against the oppressors, right? So basically the goal is to make the whole world Islam. The whole point of fighting is that all religion is eventually Islam. This is according to the Quran. So let's go back to her. So I found an equivalent verse to what she was saying in Christianity in Islam for her.
To go convert everybody. In Islam, yeah, that's a sin. So I love that, actually. They very much so make it a point to say, if you cannot figure that, if this does not sound like sound logic and reason to you, then don't follow it. Another thing I did not know was the permission of war to defend your own life or to defend land against incursions by others and to avoid persecution and lawlessness. Killing is bad, but lawlessness is even worse than carnage.
Yeah, so lawlessness is Islamic law, right? So you could kill, so lawlessness is worse than killing according to Islam, but that lawlessness includes people having sex out of marriage, for example, people advertising against Islam. That's also lawlessness. So in that case, according to Islam, again, YouTube, not according to me, killing is better, because if I go around freely telling people like, yeah, Islam is actually horrible for society, according to Islam, that is lawlessness.
Which is an interesting quote. And then permission.
If you allow me to say that, that's lawlessness.
To fight in self-defense is now given to those Muslims against whom war is waged for no reason, because they have been done injustice to, and Allah has indeed might and power to help them. Those who have been driven out of their homes without any just cause. Their only fault was that they said, "Our Lord is Allah." And if Allah had not repelled some people by means of others, cloisters and churches and synagogues and mosques, wherein the name of Allah is mentioned very frequently, would have been razed to ground in large numbers. I think it's especially with everything going on in Gaza, you hear constantly the notion that Israel's allowed to defend itself, but God forbid Palestinians were allowed to defend themselves.
Yeah, Palestinians, I don't understand what you're talking about. Are you talking about the October 7th attack? Because Palestinians are allowed to defend themselves. They should be allowed to defend themselves. If you're talking about October 7th, killing civilians and children is not defending yourself. By the way, guys, notice how I don't say women and children, because it dismisses men's life. When you say women and children, as if women's life are more important than men's life, I say civilians and children. And also, the Palestinians should be given the opportunity to defend themselves. And if any Palestinian want to defend themselves by attacking Hamas and removing Hamas from Gaza, they should. I would support them, and I would encourage them, because if Palestinians truly wanted to defend themselves, they will have an uprising in Gaza against Hamas. That is how Palestinians can defend themselves, and I will completely support their right to defending themselves. If Palestinians wanted to defend themselves, they would be supporting Israel against removing the disease of Hamas from their land. That's how Palestinians can defend themselves. But let's see what she has to say here.
Defend themselves. Anyway, I feel like the more that I read, the more that I learn, as one does when they read.
Apparently not. Apparently, the more you read, the more you are misinformed.
Things. But if you have any additional resources you think that would be helpful in my learning journey, please let me know.
Yeah. How about my book, Why There Is No God? It's free in the description. You could download it. The link to it is available. Okay, let's go to then. Oh, wait, we got super chats. Oh, thank you guys. So before we go to the next video, we got new members. Leo just became a YouTube member. Well, thank you for your support. Rayon, am I reading this right? Became a member. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. I appreciate that. And then we got a super chat. I think this is your first super chat on this channel. Super sticker. Thank you so much. Squirrel, I don't know. Well, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate the support. Let me read some of the other comments that Alfred has highlighted. So, who am I saying army should stop title like this nonsense? Will make me come. Who are you going to stop me? You and what army? How are you going to stop me? Why should I stop? I'm not going to stop. Yaron saying, Armin, I think zakah is referring to jizya. No, zakah is not jizya, Yaron. Jizya is the tax that Ahlul Kitab pays. The people of the book pay extra. Zakah is the money that is supposed to go to the poor, but usually doesn't. And by poor, they mean Muslims, not other people, not other people's poor. So those are different. And then what we call it zakat. For some reason, Arab Muslims don't pronounce the t in the end of the these words for some reason. I don't know. We got some jurists using their 19-month membership saying, "I love you, Armin XOXO." Well, thank you. I appreciate the message of support. Arthur saying, "Why you want to save these people? They love what? They love something." They love surprises. Oh, they love surprises? Let her get what she deserves if she is that stupid in the internet era. What are you talking about? Let her get what she deserves. First of all, I don't think I'm not even making this for her. I'm making this for you. You're welcome. I don't know. It won't know. I also wish best for all people, even people who are deluded and wrong. I don't wish ill upon them. All right, and we got another super sticker by Carl. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, let's go to the next video.
So I start going through Instagram Reels, and I see this TikTok, and it's on Instagram Reels.
Wait, what did she? How? Huh? Okay, I'm gonna play this. Wait, let me read the context of this video. This is a British woman who converts to Islam over the phone. Oh, okay. Well, that's new. I haven't seen that before. So let's listen to this one.
So I start going through Instagram Reels, and I see this TikTok, and it's on Instagram Reels, but it's a TikTok, and it's this girl, and she's like, if you're thinking about taking your shahada, but you don't know like how to pray, and you don't know how to make wudu, and you don't know how to speak Arabic, and you don't wear hijab, and you don't dress so modestly, and you don't do this, she said, it doesn't matter. You don't need to learn all of that. Yeah, just take your shahada, and Allah will guide you. I got up, I walked outside, and I rang the mosque, okay? And the closest mosque to me at the time was this. I'm definitely going to pronounce this wrong, so forgive me for that. But it was called the Medina Masjid, and it's in Sheffield, yeah? So big up Sheffield. That was where I took my shahada. And I called up there, and he was like, oh, we can just do it right now on the phone, and then focus, and then you can come in and do it in person afterwards. And I was like, you know what, that's sound okay. So I did it over the phone, and I was like stuttering so much, you had to repeat it so many times. I was so embarrassed. And then I like spent my time at home, because I think I did it on the phone on the Wednesday, and then I actually took it at the mosque on the Saturday. The whole week I was at home, I was literally sat in my bedroom like, ashhadu anna la ilaha illallah. Like I was just trying to pick the words up, because I was so embarrassed, because on the phone I could not do it right. So then I got to the mosque, and also the imam, yeah, he had told his niece to come, because I was a girl going by myself, and I was scared. I didn't even know how to enter, okay? I didn't even know like where to take my shoes off. I didn't even know when to do anything, right? So she came and she saved my life, basically. And she actually did. Like, I owe that girl so much, because if she didn't turn up that day, I actually wouldn't have walked in, and I would have never taken my shahada, because I was just so scared. But I was just actually terrified. But yeah, I went in, and then I sat there, and I was like, la ilaha illallah, and then my life was great, innit? My life was great.
Wow, she's so freaking excited. Guys, look, this is a trend now. Look how excited. This is the new TikTok trend. Convert to Islam. Okay, guys, I'm telling you, this is spreading. This is like spreading like a virus. Hold on, listen to this. I mean, I don't even know how to respond to this, because there's no like arguments or anything that I could debunk. This is just excitement over converting to Islam. I don't know how to respond to this. Let me just watch this again.
So I start going through Instagram Reels, and I see this TikTok, and it's on Instagram Reels, but it's a TikTok, and it's this girl, and she's like, if you're thinking about taking your shahada, but you don't know like how to pray. Okay,
so yeah, so she was watching Instagram. This is how fast this will spread. Okay, and the more, and the it's not just going to be more people who are converting to Islam. The speed at which people will convert to Islam will also increase, because more people will notice, especially a very attractive woman like this, when other people see like, okay, she's even converting to Islam. So it's a very effective way of being different, trying something new, trying something novel. If you're feeling lost, all of a sudden you feel like you're part of a new community. It's like opening a new chapter in your life. A lot of people feel like they don't have no guidance, that they have been left alone, and this provide them a new meaning, a new direction. And now, if more people do this, other girls or other boys, especially like other girls, look, look up to girls that are this beautiful. So if you are, so she was like just scrolling on TikTok. She saw somebody on TikTok mentioning this, and she was like, okay, let's do it. Now she's making a video about it. So another girl sees like, oh my god, look how much attention she's getting for doing this. I might get this much attention and support and messages of love, and I feel a sense of belonging now to a new community. And given that, I notice a lot of girls, when they see a pretty girl do something, other girls look up to prettier girls. They're like, I know I should do the same thing. I should do the same thing. And I don't even need to tell you about boys. Boys watching a pretty girl do something, they're like, okay. So this normalizes it. This makes it it just breaks a whole bunch of taboo and barriers, and there's going to be many more people. It's going to be a lot easier for the other people to follow. And guys, if you are trying to, the problem a lot of you guys are having in the live chat is to fight back against this. You're thinking that we could have rational arguments. This is not a rational move. If it's not a rational decision, it cannot have a rational response. You have to be able to fight Islam. We have to fight against it rationally for people who are converting to it based on arguments. But we also have to understand what emotional needs people are trying to satisfy for people who are just going through it emotionally. You cannot dismiss emotions. We are human. We have emotional desires, we have emotional needs, and those emotional needs to be satisfied. And these people are trying to satisfy those emotional desires. We have to figure out what has made these people want to scratch that itch with Islam. And you have to come up with emotional alternatives. Do not feel like, oh, I'm a rationalist, I dismiss emotions. The whole point of life is emotion. Even if you are, if you think you're a rationalist, what is the point of rationalism other than better emotion, better feelings? The whole point of life is better feelings. Even if we endorse rationalism and empiricism is in the service of increasing our well-being. What is well-being? Well-being is better emotions. So when you see somebody just emotionally, for emotional reasons, converting to Islam, you cannot just be like, well, you're just being an idiot. Okay, well, she wasn't trying to be rational. She was trying to scratch an emotional need. Do you have an alternative? This is a response to not having alternatives. This is a gap that you need to fill in society. What are you going to fill it with? This is a marketplace of ideas. You cannot just point and be like, well, that's ridiculous. What are you doing that? You have to stack the shelves of this marketplace of ideas with alternative products for people to choose instead of Islam. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Do you guys understand? You cannot just like, point and be like, well, that's stupid. Well, it's not stupid. These are young people. Like, where have you been? Have you seen how people make decisions? Most of people's decisions throughout their life is based on the emotional desires, the emotional gaps that they feel in their mind, and trying to fill that. That's how most people operate. So if you want to win this battle, you have to be able to provide better emotions with better sources to the same people instead of just dismissing them as idiots. We got a super chat from Asian American saying, I filled my gap with D&D and AR livestream. Well, those are both really good choices. All right. Both really good choices. I wish more people did that. Thank you, Asian American. Let me know if you agree or disagree with what I'm saying.
And you don't know how to make wudu, and you don't know how to...
So basically, the point that she's making at the beginning of this video is that this is what Islam does very well. They remove the barrier. The barrier to entry is minimal. The barrier to exit is maximum. But the barrier to entry is minimum. And they advertise that minimum barrier to entry so much, and it's effective. It's very effective. Look how effective this is, because as Muslims are very proud of how little you have to know and how little you have to do to enter Islam. They usually don't tell you how hard it is to leave, how impossible it is to leave for many people. But that part, you could see the effect of that advertisement of the low barrier working on her, because she saw on Instagram somebody mentioning that you don't need to know things. So if you want to leave, if you even talk about, so first of all, you're supposed to be killed if you want to leave. But other than that, you're supposed to have 4 doctorates and know Arabic by heart to be able to even doubt Islam. Or else, like, if you don't know Islamic fiqh inside and out, then if you want to leave, then like, oh, who are you? You have no understanding of Islam. Go research Islam first. Okay, but if you want to enter Islam, you don't need to know shit. You don't need to know anything. You don't even need to know how to do the wudu, which is the Islamic, washing before prayer. You don't need to know the basics. You just need to do the shahada. And they're like, oh, what fantastic. I could basically completely get this identity. So we need to figure, this is a clue for us. Like, for example, what alternatives do we have? Right? And can we see if we can advertise the low barriers to entry for what we have to offer? So, for example, if we want to advertise Enlightenment ideals and Enlightenment values, Western liberal values, if we want to advertise that, if we're marketing that as something that people, does that have the same effect? Does that emotionally fill you up? Does that have a low barrier to entry? Do I have to study Rousseau, Voltaire, and John Stuart Mill and John Locke and all these other people to be able to even enter this area? Does that make me feel like I have an identity that I feel like a sense of belonging to? Does that make me feel like I have just opened a new chapter of my life, that everything before this is now forgiven and forgotten, and now I've entered a new phase, that it's a new beginning, it's a new birth? Well, no, it doesn't give you that. So how do we give that to people? So one way that we do that is that we package all of that instead of giving Enlightenment values, liberal, here's the history, the political philosophy of the Enlightenment ideas and Enlightenment philosopher, we make a new more simple package of that, and that it does give you all of that, and it does give you all of that. It does give you a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, a sense of identity, and an easy entry. And we will call all of that nationalism, civic nationalism. And that's easy to do. Just be proud of your country and support. Just wave the flag. Be a proud British, be a proud French, be a proud American, be a proud Canadian. It does do all of that, and the barrier to entry to that is low. Like the barrier for you to be welcomed. Like, for example, if you are a French but that doesn't feel French, we could work on that. We could make people feel proud of being French. How do we do that? That's the sense of identity that we need to give to people, the sense of nationalism, the sense of proud to be American, proud to be Canadian. That's the alternative. That has all the Enlightenment values, all the Western liberal values in it, with a low barrier to entry, without all that philosophy, and with all the sense of pride and belonging and sense of purpose and all of that, right? So that's the best alternative that we have, and that's what we need to focus on, right? So listen to what she's saying at the beginning, where she says how I realized, based on watching this Instagram video, that I don't need to know any of this, and I could just become a Muslim by just giving the shahada.
Going through Instagram Reels, and I'll see this TikTok, and it's on Instagram Reels, but it's TikTok, and it's this girl, and she's like, if you're thinking about taking your shahada but you don't know like how to pray, and you don't know how to make wudu, and you don't know how to speak Arabic, and you don't wear hijab, and you don't dress so modestly, and you don't do this, she said, it doesn't matter. You don't need to learn all of that yet. Just take your shahada and Allah will guide you. I got up, I walked outside, and I rang the mosque, okay? And the closest mosque to me at the time was this. I'm definitely going to pronounce this wrong.
So for other people who are not British but speak English, rang means she called the mosque. She made a phone call to the mosque.
Okay, and the closest mosque to me at the time was this. I'm definitely going to pronounce this wrong, so forgive me for that. But it was called the Medina Masjid, and it's in Sheffield. Yeah, so big up Sheffield. That was where I took my shahada, and I called up there, and he was like, "Oh, we can just do it right now on the phone, and then focus, and then you can come in and do it in person afterwards." And I was like, you know what, that's sound okay. So I did it over the phone, and I was like stuttering so much, you had to repeat it so many times. I was so embarrassed. And then I like spent my time at home, because I think I did it on the phone on the Wednesday, and then I actually took it at the mosque on the Saturday. The whole week I was at home, I was literally sat in my bedroom like, Ashhadu anna la ilaha illallah. Like I was just trying to pick the words up because I was so embarrassed, because on the phone I could not do it right. So then I got to the mosque, and also the imam, he had told his niece to come, because I was
So you should, like, over the phone. It's so easy. Just call in and do the shahada, and it's done. It's done. Technically, it's even easier than that. You could be sitting in your own private room without anyone ever hearing you. If you talk to an imam from a mosque or something, that's just so that the community also understands that you're Muslim. But technically, the barriers to entering Islam is even lower than she's saying. You could just be in your own bedroom with nobody witnessing you and just doing the shahadat, saying Ashhadu anna la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Oh, by the way, guys, I just became a Muslim. No, you have to mean it to work. Meaning that I testify that there is no God but Allah, and I testify that Muhammad is his prophet, and boom. If you mean it, then done. You're a Muslim now. You're a Muslim now. Okay. Yeah.
a girl going by myself, and I was scared. I was
scared. Wow. She's like, guys, she's talking like, you know how teenage girls talk about like going shopping, or like, I don't know, going to an exciting event, or, you know, we went there, like, we got this, like, we got our nails done. I like, so like, no, she's talking like that about Islam.
to come, because I was a girl going by myself, and I was scared. I didn't even know how to enter. Okay, I didn't even know like where to take my shoes off. I didn't even know when to do anything right. So she came and she saved my life, basically, and she actually did. Like
she saved my life. Like, there was somebody there that saved, like, look, it saved my life. So her, if she had at the moment there was afraid and left and didn't take this seriously, she said that her life would have been ruined. So she thinks that anybody who made her job easier to become a Muslim, because of that, her life is now saved.
Basically. And she actually did. Like, I owe that girl so much, because if she didn't turn up that day, you know, I actually wouldn't have walked in, and I would have never taken my shahada, because I was just so scared. Like, I was just actually terrified. But yeah, I went.
So see, this is a lot of people in the UK are considering this. The people who have converted to Islam in the UK already is a small percentage of the people in the UK who are considering converting to Islam. But a lot of them feel unsure, and a lot of them feel scared. So that fear barrier is now going to be dropped a lot by videos like this on TikTok. A lot of them feel like, okay, maybe I should go and convert. If she's making it seem so easy, I will do it. What's the harm?
And then I sat there and I was like, La ilaha illallah. And then my life was great, innit? My life was great.
Guys, in this channel, we are trying to find a way to fight back. Like, because in other channels, they just point and say that this is a problem. We cannot just point and be like, oh, we don't like that. We have to build an alternative. We have to have our weapon. And again, even the people who are serious about trying to fight this back, they have no solutions other than deport. Hey, deport people in the live chat. You want to deport her? How can you deport her? Good luck with that. You think, and it's, even if you deport, there's too late. It's all over social media. I have news for you. Ideas do not recognize your borders. And if you want to censor these ideas, they will spread even faster. So the only way to fight is to build something better, something more appealing, not just rational, but also appealing. And you need to market it. That's your only solution. And here we are going to try to build that together. So support me here, follow me here. introduce this channel to more people. As we go by, we will start building the narratives of what is that alternative and how we could market it better than Islam is marketing itself. Because here's the thing, Islam, as much as you hate Islam, as much as I hate Islam, Islam knows how to market, and they're doing that effectively. You cannot dismiss the strength of your enemy. You cannot be dismissive about how effective Islam is in spreading. I know you hate it, but you have to give it to your enemy when it's working properly in spreading this disease. You have to accept that. And if you don't, the best way to lose is to not understand how strong your enemy is. So Carl thank you so much, Carl, for the super chat. And let me actually respond to this. This is a very good question, right? Carl is saying Islam provides community and identity. What about liberalism? And here's the problem. Here's the huge problem. Liberals, ever since World War II, have done a major disservice to one of their best inventions, which is nationalism. They have done such a disservice that I was fooled by it for a long time. Nationalism is one of the greatest inventions of liberalism. But because of the experience liberals around the world had with Nazi Germany, nationalism is now, so many people understand nationalism to be something far right and anti-liberalism, even though the major foundation of liberal values was built upon the foundation that is the nation state and defending a liberal republic within the framework of the nation state. That was the whole point of it. So we have to, as many other people have, reintroduce nationalism within the original framework that it had, which was liberal republicanism, and reintroduce that people in. And that's easy. That is easy to sell because people already have a desire to celebrate and support the team they belong to, and the team they belong to is now given to them within the framework of a nation state. So you want a sense of community and identity? The community and identity you have to provide to people over Islam is their national identity. That is liberalism. Thank you for the super chat and support. So Levantex is asking, do more people revert than people apostate or leave Islam? So based on the US numbers, I don't know the UK, it seems like the numbers are the same. The number of people leaving Islam, almost the same. And the number of people converting to Islam are cancel each other out. It seems like pretty even. The reason why Islam grows is because on top of the revert, on top of people converting to Islam, on top of that, they have higher birth rates, right? But again, if you take the revert away from them, that would be a huge blow, right? And also, the thing is that the birth rates, we can't do much about that, but we can be a lot more effective in infiltrating their own community and take away from them. So the apostasy rate needs to increase. And even if the apostasy rate increases, that's going to be a small part of our win, because the major part of our win is not going to be people who leave Islam. The major, and that's a huge win, and we have to work on that. But the major part of our win are going to be people who maybe are still Muslim, but they will be Muslim by name only. That even though they will be labeled as Muslims, they will keep living less and less Islamic lives. That is going to be a bigger bulk of our win. Does that make sense, guys? Let's go to this next video. So let's do this video, and then I have 2 other videos that I will do maybe in the next stream. Yeah. Yeah, cultural Muslims. Yeah. So, guys, the way I categorize Muslims, okay, because again, Islam, we can have good Muslims and bad Muslims. We only have bad Islam, right? So, I do not accept that if people say there's good Islam and there's bad Islam, that is not correct. There's only bad Islam. There's only bad Islam. There are good Muslims and bad Muslims, but there's only bad Islam, right? And good Muslims are Muslims who are living less Islamic lives, right? Because as powerful as the Islamic virus is, your humanity is stronger. So it's corrupting your mind, but in many Muslims, it's not corrupting your mind completely. So we have to appeal to the humanity within. So the battle is not between Muslims and non-Muslims. The battle that we're fighting is in the mind of each Muslim, the Islamic part of it, the mind of that Muslim, and the non-Islamic part of the mind of that Muslim. Right? So rather than looking at this fight as Muslims versus non-Muslims, you have to go to the Muslims and try to make the non-Islamic part of the mind conquer and overcome the Islamic part of their mind and become a bigger part of the influence in their lives. All right, so let's go to this one. Yeah, somebody's saying all religions are harmful. Yes, to humans. But that's not how you spell humans. But they are not equally harmful. You have to agree with that. All religions are harmful to humans, but Islam is the most harmful to humans. Let's go watch this now. So let me read the context of this one. Okay, so this woman is not yet Muslim, but she's gonna do her shahada. She is going to convert to Islam, and she's doing a video with you to get ready with her to convert to Islam. So let's see. So the title is "Get Ready with Me to Get My Shahada." Okay, let's see.
Get ready with me for taking my shahada. Feel definitely a bit nervous today, and I was just deeping the fact that if I told myself that I was going to be doing this today a year ago, I probably would have fallen off my chair. Islam really only came into my life about 8 months ago when I started working and volunteering with a charity where I was meeting a lot of Muslims. This is what initially really sparked my interest in learning about the religion and what it was all about. I started to really learn the reasoning behind things that I'd seen on the periphery. So Ramadan, why Muslims fasted, modesty, and ultimately their values and beliefs at the core. It was during this time that I also started watching a lot of female Muslim content creators, which completely shifted my whole perception of women within Islam. So watching other girls that had reverted and were documenting their story was so inspiring to me. And the more and more I was learning, I saw that I was getting more and more curious. I think that what was really holding me back though, and I'm sure it's what holds a lot of reverts back, was the fear ultimately of judgment from peers and family. For a long time I'd suffered a lot with real depression and anxiety, and I found myself, despite having a really busy life, working a full-time job, running 2 businesses, finding real sanctity and peace in those times where I would just take out and learn and read the Quran and learn about Islam. It was at this point that I really felt like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had led me to this path, and my fear of judgment kind of just melted away because I really knew that the only one that could judge me ultimately was and is God. I just finished getting ready off camera because I realised I'm really far behind. So today is going to mark a massive shift in my life, and there's so much I need to learn, so much I need to find out, but I'm really just going to take it one step at a time because this is a journey.
Okay, so a lot of you in the live chat were pointing out that well, she's making makeup, she's showing her face, that's not Islamic. It doesn't matter, guys, you're missing the point. This is why we lose, and the Islam, the spreading of Islam is going to win, because you guys are not understanding how this works. Okay, again, look, it's not based on rational arguments. It's not based on studying and researching and looking at the arguments from the other side. checking if these values make the society and individuals' lives better. It's just the vibes. It's just the mood. It's just like, and Islam and religions understand that, and you guys don't understand that. You guys, it's about whether I emotionally connect with this. And what Muslims in the UK are doing very effectively is that they're making the whole Islam thing seem less foreign. The reason why so many people would not consider even converting to Islam is because it's just something, it seems like something foreign. People would choose their religion just like they would choose their clothes, just like they would choose their food, just like they would choose their interior design of their bedroom. It's just like they just like, do I feel like am I enjoying this vibes? Am I enjoying, does this feel like something new and unique? And is it scary? Right? So it does seem scary if it's just something foreign. But the less it becomes, the less of a foreign thing it ends up going to be seeming like when you're watching TikTok and you're seeing other white girls, other British girls converting to Islam and making it seem like something. It's just like, when Buddhism first came to Western countries, it was just something foreign. But then enough people picked it. It just seemed like, okay, this is something. It's just it's like a fashion statement. It's just like, it's like having I don't know. It's the same kind of statement that you're making with your clothes, right? Like, this is my new unique thing that is foreign, right? It's exciting. It's amazing, right? And Islam is going to be the same thing. Now, if you see that it's not that scary, other white people are doing it, that you're getting a lot of attention because, and by the way, a lot of you saying that, oh, she's just an attention seeker. I mean, what are you saying? Being attention seeking is human. You're dismissing basic human desires, of course they're attention seeking. Who's not attention seeking? Maybe you're not attention seeking, but if you do not have that desire to seek attention, you do not understand your fellow human beings. Humans are social animals. Social animals, do you understand the social part of being a social animal? How are we social? We're social by seeking attention. We get validation and confirmation, and we feel like we belong to the tribe, a valued member of the tribe, based on the positive attention. The whole entire moral structure is based on positive and negative attention. That's how we even form tribes. That's the whole point of. That's how the entire civilization is founded upon, based on moral structures, based on positive and negative attentions that you get. We are trying. Most of the work that you do every day is to get that positive attention, and because you fear the negative attention. So forgive her for being attention seeking. It's only being human. She's being human. You cannot deny her attention seeking needs. You have to replace it with something else instead of shaming her for being attention seeking. Especially her age. Of course she's attention seeking. Would you blame her for being attention seeking? It's called being a teenager. It's called being young. What the hell? So give her something else to seek attention with instead of shaming her for it. And then you're saying, and you also don't understand Islam. You're blaming her for not being properly Islamic. That's the whole point. That you don't have to be a perfect Muslim to be Muslim. And Islam advocates that. Like, okay, you're showing your face, you're showing your hair, you're not even wearing hijab. It's fine. Just come in. You think the rest of us are this is their marketing. They say you think the rest of us are perfect? It's better to be a sinning Muslim than to be not Muslim at all. That's their entire advertising. And if you're mocking them for not following Islam perfectly, will convince her that you're on the wrong side. Because she will listen to the Muslims who are inviting to her Islam. They're like, it's all okay. We're all sinners anyways. And they will listen to you, and you're mocking her for not being perfect. So that will drive her away from you towards the arms of Islam. That's not the right way to fight against this. You have to attract rather than just be like pointing and just be like, oh, this is, that will make her go away from you faster. What do you have to attract? What is your alternative? How are you going to make alternative sources of building identity and community as attractive as Muslims are so successfully doing right now? What are you going to do? What do you have to offer? Because right now it's not working. Oh, thank you, Muhammad. I appreciate the support. Let me see if what you guys are saying in the live chat. Yes, because most of it are the things I said before. Okay. Somebody's saying, let me see. Armin, I didn't read the rest of it, but because it said it's a criticism, I'm going to highlight it. Thank you, Alfred, for starting these comments for me. Saying, Armin, I can't accept this because it's dumb. Are you? Are you? I don't know what you. Are you in or out? You can't be half in just because you feel like so. It's called not swimming, not a swimming club. What are you saying? What am I? I can't accept this. You don't have. I mean, I don't. What do you accept? What do you think I'm saying? I'm teaching you how to fight Islam. I'm teaching you how to fight Islam. I'm saying you just not accepting it, going home and acting like this is not happening, or just looking at it and being like, well, I don't like this. It's not going to make it go away. You not liking Islam, me not liking Islam is not going to make it go away. You have to have a solution. What do you have in your war chest other than complaining? You could not accept it, but this is happening. It's happening to your country. It's happening to your country. You not accepting it, it's not going to make it not happen. And you're saying, are you in or are you out? You can't be half in. Oh, sir, you're the one who's half in. I'm fully in. The people who are just complaining without providing an alternative or a solution, you're the one who's half in. I'm the one who's fully committed by doing both, showing the problem and also offering a solution. You're the one who's half in, sir. No, we'll see. Anyways, guys, it's already over an hour. I have more videos like this to show you guys, but because I have another stream the Persian stream that I need to prepare for, I'm going to go do that. Make sure you like the stream. If you think I'm telling you something that is valuable, you could help me by liking the stream, by leaving a comment after the show is over, by telling people to come subscribe on Atheist Republic on YouTube, on Atheist Republic's YouTube channel, right? Just go to YouTube, search for Atheist. Tell people to go to YouTube, search for Atheist Republic, and subscribe to that channel. Do that. Okay. I have a stream. I have an English stream, and then I have a Persian stream for a mostly Iranian audience. So on our Persian channel, if you speak Persian, that channel is called Jomhuriye Bi Khodayan. So guys, I'm fighting Islam in liberal countries, but I'm also fighting Islam in the heart, in the center of it, like in Iran, right? For that, I have a show in Persian, So we're attacking Islam effectively in Islamic theocracy as well. So that's what I do on the Persian channel. If you speak Persian, make sure, if you know people who speak Persian, introduce my Persian channel, okay? Jomhuriye Bi Khodayan, right? That's the channel. Tell them to go there. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for kind messages of support, telling me like that does give me motivation. Okay, I'm also an emotional human animal, so all your messages of telling me like this is good, more of this. Thank you, Armin. This is working. This is helpful. That gives me energy. Okay. We're not robots, like a lot of you think like, oh, we have to dismiss emotions. Okay, we're not robots. We're humans, and we need that. All right, guys. So till next show, thank you guys, and bye.